Okay, so here we are. We are back again for another episode of So-Called Friends. And today we will be talking about things I wish I would have known when I was younger.
I called my friends,
And they called their friends.
Yep.
And now you're on the line getting tea from So-Called Friends.
Y'all know how I linked into that.
No, it was funny because I heard you like swallow your spit from the candy before the singing started.
No, well, let me put my candy down.
Okay, so things I wish I would have known, I think is a very important topic because there's so many things that I think we all wish we would have known when we were kids or younger rather. So one of my first things I think I wish I would have known is the importance of living a full life before kids. I think that's very important because I think that I got married. My husband and I started living together when I was 17. I got married when I was 19. And I had my first child by 20. So I think that it was really one of the things that, although I enjoy being a young mom because I am one of the youngest moms. Okay, I'm amongst the young moms with my boys. Now with the girl, I'm gonna be amongst the older moms. So I gotta step back then. But I enjoy being a young mom. But I really do wish that I had the opportunity to travel, to just live like Sex in the City, kind of turn up a little bit, go to college, like all those things that I know a lot of people was able to do, and I did not get to experience. I kind of moved, a little swiftly into the married life and the kid and mom and always being somebody's support system. So I really wish I would have realized the importance of my me time in the beginning in my younger years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not being fast.
Because I was.
Because I was.
And I want to go the opposite way. I wish I would have known how to be more fast.
Oh.
Okay.
Look,
I'm saying,
Explain.
I'm going to explain. Like, I've been in, like, long relationships, and I feel like, even if I was in a relationship for 2 years or whatever, I just kind of moved from, I don't have enough downtime for myself, you know what I'm saying, to be out here on my bald-headed whole shit the way I want to be. And guess what? At 41 and single, look at that.
Look at you.
You really?
She definitely about to be about her. You know what I'm saying? I don't really. How I feel right now is everybody get on my nerves, and I don't really have time for nobody. But I'm about to have time for somebody because somebody gonna take me on a date because I got somebody's son because I got a couple of cute outfits that I need to pull out the closet. But anyway, that's going here and there. But I'm saying that to say that I wish that I would have not been so scared to live my life in certain ways, like experience certain things like sexually and stuff like that. And when I was younger, I was nervous to do that because my mom always was like, don't be fast, don't be this, don't be that. And I didn't have like older sister or siblings or cousins or whoever to kind of like, you know what I'm saying, for me to go to and be able to ask certain questions about certain things. So I was fearful to try a lot of different things.
I mean, sometimes fear is healthy. Some fear keeps you away from things that you don't need to be trying. But also, I think that as Black women, we're not given permission to explore our bodies, explore our sexualities, and do certain things. So yeah,
because you just be going out here trying it, like when you're young.
Yeah. Yes,
we're told that's the slut.
And I will say this: the other thing is, I wish I would have learned when I was younger was how to say when. Mm-hmm. When to say when, and it's okay to change your mind. You don't get that it's okay to change your mind until you get older and you sit in some things for a long time. So I want to kind of just like
not feel guilty.
Right, and don't feel guilty and just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Oh, your feelings was hurt. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but my feelings is more important.
Yeah. I agree.
That's true. Me, I just wish I would have knew about more about adulting or what adulthood was gonna look like. Like all I knew was when I was young was like, oh, I can't wait to be grown. I want to have sex and be able to cuss. And
girl,
no, I mean, that's the truth. I wanted to be able to cuss freely, and I wanted to have sex. And I just think Well, yeah, I am.
I'm sorry to keep them.
You want to talk to the people?
No, I'm sorry
okay.
to keep them.
Yeah, so I just wished I knew more what adulthood was going to look like. I wish I would have grasped the concept of credit when I was younger versus here in, my older age. And because I really wish, and I think they do it now for kids because Bailey is in this class, taught you about credit versus money. Because like back then, it's like as soon as you get to college, like everybody giving you credit card applications. What do I need with a Palais Royal credit card?
Nothing, but I got one.
Yeah, but I had
And
one without a job. And it's just like as a kid, you never think like, oh, I got to have a job to be able to pay for this. So to me, like I think I try to stress to my kids the importance of credit because yeah, it's
funny that you say that because I read a meme. Feel like it was just like yesterday, and it was teach your kids early what you learned late, and that was like a word. I was like, yes, true.
It's true, but here's the other thing: we tend to stray away from certain things with our kids because we didn't like certain things when we were kids. The things that you disliked the most when you were younger, you always say, I'm not going to do my kids like that. But those are the things that taught you the most lessons. You knew how and why and what to do and what not to do in certain situations, even though you may not like them because your mom and your parents let you experience those things. We, on the other hand, try to prevent our kids from experiencing a lot of things that cause us strife or what we felt like was dislike or discomfort or whatever, and now they ass on no shit.
But I think that goes also back to like we had more street sense. I think, whereas these kids probably have more book sense.
I just think they have more internet sense.
Well, yeah, internet sense. We have more common
They have
sense.
access to more.
Yeah,
that's why.
And I feel like we had to figure some things out. Like whereas, it's just like they have everything at their fingertips right now. So it's just like they don't really have to do a whole lot of things. Here's my thing. As a kid, I used to just want to pull my hair out every time I had to open up them encyclopedias. And we had the whole Encyclopedia Britannica. And you remember how it had the little pages of the map, so it had the little clear page, and I don't know if y'all had to do that, but anyway.
It sounds like your mama had money. We had it.
Because you had to have a whole encyclopedia set first.
You weren't out here on Beyonce's World Wide Web looking up nothing. You had to flip them pages, and I'm just like, so they have everything now.
Yeah, and I also really wish I learned early that parenting is not easy. I feel like I learned along the way. I mean, I know what I'm saying is I wish that as my mom was parenting me, I understood things a little better. You know what I'm saying? Because I see myself in my older years doing some of those things, and now I'm going like Betty White, right? Oh yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like when I look back, it makes me feel like, dang, like I wasn't fair to her, or I feel like I know they up there cussing me out because I knew what I was doing.
Right?
You know
Yes. Here's the thing: the reason why is because our parents raised us to do as they say and not question them.
That's
so
true.
we didn't question them, or for them, they didn't feel like they had to explain anything to us. We could never ask why on something. Now our kids do ask us, well, why not, or this and that. And sometimes that throws you for a loop because you will find yourself explaining when I don't want to explain shit.
I will say, to be fair to my mama, she allowed us to ask why, and she actually didn't necessarily allow us to ask why. She would tell us why before we had to ask why, and it used to get on my damn nerves. Because she had to explain everything in detail and had to overtalk every situation. And I'd be like, girl, I hear you. Like,
I understood.
I understood the first time. But now I understand because I think I do it to my kids now. I overtalk every situation. But I think I said this before. It helped me be a critical thinker. It helped me think about things like she thinks about, you know what I'm saying, things. So
you never appreciate your parents until you become parents. Or you go through certain situations, because no matter how many times she tell you to stay away from that one boy, he ain't no good for you. I just love George, and George ass wasn't shit, and your mama knew because his family wasn't shit. He came from a
or that friend. Cause they be having them intuitions on them friends too.
That's true.
She ain't nothing.
That's another one. I wish I could go back to because I wouldn't be so quick to befriend people when I was younger or to call everybody my friend. Because even at 41, I still learned lessons that I already knew, and I keep relearning the same thing. I'm like, I already knew.
You think
that.
it's gonna change, and that's just based on your personality. You want to give people the benefit of the doubt,
and they ain't shit.
Yeah.
Still ain't shit.
Still ain't.
Let me tell y'all, so little sidebar, I want to give y'all this, just a little nugget. So I had met this guy when my daughter was younger, and I met him at Walmart. And so I let him come over, whatever, and he would come over and we would just kick it and hang out. So this one time we was like wrestling, right? Tell another story. And anyways, bitch, I bumped his ass and fucked around and bumped his mouth, and he took his tooth out. He took it out because it can go in and out, but I didn't know that. And all the fuck I could think about was, I don't even make that much money. How am I gonna help him pay the gas?
I wish I would have knew you had no tooth up there, so I would.
Because I wasn't first of all, right? I said this story to say that I wish that I was better able to avoid people back in the day. Because some people was, when you go back and think about it, you'd be like, now what about that fool that I let you get my number, call me, come over, any of those things? Have you ever been like that? Like you look back and you be like, why? Yeah. Like you was so horrible. Like you was horrible when I met you. Like
reflecting on your decisions, like it had to be something. Like what was going on that day?
You know what Tim was saying? She's like, you don't pay attention. She tell me I don't pay attention a lot. Like she's like, you don't be paying attention. You could have got some free shoes. They was trying to talk to you. I didn't see it. I was just focused on what I was focused on. I'm gonna pay more attention at 41 because at 40 through 17, she wasn't paying attention.
Could have walked past your blessings several times.
I walked somewhere. Don't know where I was walking to. He continued to bless me regardless, but I mean, some of them heathens I could have let on about their way. You know what I'm saying? But you know.
I do. I also wish I would have learned. Same thing you said. I'm piggyback off of what you just said. I wish I would have learned earlier. I grew up the only girl. I'm not super close. I don't have any like whole bunch of cousins that everybody grew up with. I don't have a lot of that going on. I was the oldest grandchild on my mom's side. On my dad's side, I was second to the oldest. But you know, we didn't have a big family where all the cousins were together every weekend. So I was like you very much, where my friends became my family. And I'm the type of person that until you wrong me, cross me, you all right with me. Like I see past all your flaws. I know I know who you are, and I'm good with that. I know you a liar. She a liar. I know she lying, and that's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a minute before I really
know your people.
Just get sick of you, really.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a minute, and so I really wished I would have been able to pick up on certain character types. And these are just life lessons that you learn, but pick up on certain type of characters that I didn't let linger and ride my coattail for so long. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's like we family and I can't shake them, although I know they're lying, cheating, stealing, you know, whatever. But I see the best in everybody. And so I'm not mad at seeing the best in everybody.
All the best in me.
Yes, Lord. Come on, say it.
Baby. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not mad at seeing the best for everybody because I think that that's how God made me. But I wish that I would have had a little bit of what I have today. And it took me 38 years because I feel like I just came to that like last year or so.
Oh, I'm finna say, well, wait a minute.
She count my age. I feel like I just came around to that. Well, you know what I'm saying? I can release people. I didn't have a release button.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a release button. It was just like they my people. However they are. I was, you know,
right, you were just accepting.
I was accepting who they was.
Pot.
Right. And I wish I would have known earlier that it's okay to release people.
Wish I was more guarded when I was younger with certain things, with myself. Wish I was more guarded with myself in all aspects, with work, with relationships, with families, with your kids, like even with your kids, because there's boundaries that, you know, you can have with your kids that's unhealthy. Like I feel like a lot of single mothers with their sons, I think they have unhealthy relationships a lot of time because they take them on as they're in a relationship with them, like that's their man.
It's either or.
And it ain't that like
it's either they take them on like they man and they treat them like they husband, or they take them on like, they coddle them and they don't let them grow up. So either I'm gonna depend on you my man, or I'm gonna coddle you too much and you ain't gonna be no good for nobody else.
Either way, it's the same thing to me. But just a bunch of different realms when it comes up to just me and my space and what's okay with me and things like that. And guess what? We're talking about when we was younger. Younger was me yesterday too, because I was younger yesterday than I am today. So that's something that I'm still learning at the age that I am right now. You're never too old to change your mind about what it is for you and what lessons you've learned, because we learn lessons every day.
That's a good one. You never too. Yeah, I think that's also another thing that I being like, oh well, I'm learning that I can change directions at any moment. I'm not too old to change directions. I'm not too old to pick up something new. But life tells us that you got a certain amount of time. You got a certain amount of time to figure out your career. You got a certain amount of time to get married. You got a certain amount of time to do all these things and goals that life tells you have. And I don't want to be put in a box.
Well, guess what? If I was in the box, baby, I ain't been married. I only had one kid. Let me tell y'all what happens to me a lot, right? People, because I got pregnant when I was in high school, my senior year, and most people think that when you get pregnant like that early that you just continue to have kids, you know what I'm saying? And when they see me today, they be like, how many kids you got now? Just one. That's all you have? They so surprised. And I'm just like, well, I never was the one that wanted a bunch of kids. I don't want no kids. But I got the one that I got. You know what I'm saying? God chose me for her to come on now, and that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But that's not who I was. But I did say that if I ever got married, I would have more kids. And I hadn't got married. And now that time has passed me on by. And guess who don't feel no way about it? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish that I wouldn't have stayed so long too in certain situations. Knowing when to get up and leave. When you was like, okay, you know what? You've given enough to this. It's not changing. It's no movement. And the movement could just be on your side. It doesn't have to be the other person. But just to be able to make a decision to say, okay, enough is enough and this is too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, I've stayed too long in so many different situations. Friendships, relationships, ships, just all kind of things.
Ships that sail.
Yeah, like even with work. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I realize is a lot of times I don't want to rock the boat and I don't want to change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Change is hard. It's scary. And most people would rather deal with the dysfunction of their everyday life than to make a change.
And I'm so different. I will change in a minute. I will change makes me feel alive. Change makes me feel like I got a new opportunity to do something new. I don't know if that come from just me moving around a lot as a kid and being okay with change, but I have no problem with change. I love being a new person. I love using the excuse, I'm sorry, I didn't know I'm new.
I'll say this, like, I don't mind change, because even if I always say, as long as I'm the one making the decision, if I fuck it up, then I fucked it up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care about, okay, well, no, I'm gonna jump out here and do this. You know what? It didn't even work out. All right, I'm gonna just come back and do something else. But as long as I'm able to make that decision for myself, like, I can't put that decision in somebody else's hands.
Yeah. And I mean, my whole thing is, for me, I will do the change, but I'm not one to just make the change immediately. Like, I don't transition well to...
You like familiarity.
I do, but at the same time, the familiar stuff is the stuff that is keeping me stuck.
You know most men are like that. Most men are very stagnant people. From what men that I know. I mean, of course, you have everybody the same, but most men, if they get a job, whether it's good or whether it's bad, until they kick their asses out the door, they gonna stay at it. Most men just kind of get stuck doing the same thing in life over and over, whereas I feel like a lot of women are jumpers. We decide to do things differently a lot to figure out how we can move around life. And
now, I will tell you this, what makes it all better for me, like an outlet to be able to stay in certain situations, is for me, traveling is freeing. That, like, me being able to go to different places, to get on a plane, get in the car like we're doing something. It doesn't have to be with a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? But for me to be able to travel, that's why I travel so much. That's an outlet for me.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me feel refreshed, restart, like renewed, and all those things, so I can come back into a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? I'm already thinking about the next situation where I'm going. But hey, we can go on and on about what we would like to have changed and done better and all of that jazz. But hey, what I will say is this: who out of all my friends in my out my circle, who I have not ever fallen out with is this bitch. But I was thinking about that, and I was just like, I don't ever have confrontation with you.
Now, I will say, I'm gonna give myself this though. It's not easy to fall out with me. If you fall out with me, it is because it was some shit. Like,
I think it's because you and I are a lot alike with how we grew up. Because you're the oldest, I'm the oldest girl, and your mom has 2 boys, my mom has 2 boys, and they were single mothers. So, like kind of, I feel like a lot of those things kind of make you kind of like drawn to.
But I also don't know that you really fall out with a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I think that I think that we friend people that are most like us, and a lot of the times it makes it easy because I know when to leave her fuck alone. I know when she don't want to talk. I know when, you know what I'm saying, and it makes it a lot easier when you really understand your friendships. And
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Because some bitches in the crew, they don't know your boundaries. What they do, they just fuck with them. I ain't gonna call no names.
Anyways, that's our show.
It's one of these bitches, or 2 or 3 or 4 of these bitches behind me.
It's only 5 of us.
I know, but I said what I said with the number.
So thank y'all for joining us, and we hope to see y'all again. Until then,
bye.
I call my friends,
hey,
and they call their friends. Now you're on the line getting tea from so-called friends.